Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cloud Eagle's SaaS Mastermind podcast. Today, we have Karl, a founder of Haviland Software, a company specializing in AI and ML solutions, responsible AI practices, and DevSecOps cloud services. Karl has nearly had 2 decades of experience in delivering next generation enterprise solution across government, sustainability, and higher education. He's also known for blending advanced AI practices with real world operations demands, insights that basically matters in basically today's real life CIOs, CTOs. So welcome, Carl. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, Carl. So we are delighted to have you on the call here. We have a lot of things we want to know about AI, how it is evolving, generative AI, a lot of it. So basically, Carl, if you could introduce yourself to our listeners, we would love to hear about your journey, a little bit about your background, in computer science, your entrepreneurship journey, basically founding Haviland Software. That would be great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. I am Karl Haviland. I'm the CEO, founder of Haviland Software, and it's been the culmination of a couple decades of computer science experience. Started a long time ago as a kid. I love technology, love playing video games, and I had this experience with my grandmother who had a love of learning, and she was very curious about the world and think she had a great effect on me growing up. And she introduced me to a lot of the technologies, which is very not a lot of people have the same experience that their grandmother has this effect on them moving into the world of computer science. But that's exactly what happened for me. And um, I studied a long time ago at Lycoming College, and since then, I've been in a variety of different industries. I've had different successes building companies and some failures, which has really taught me a lot of lessons. And the culmination of those things led me to Haviland Software, where my team and I we build custom AI and software solutions for next generation type of companies who are looking to get the most out of their technologies and their staff, bring products to market quickly, work with their clients.
Interesting. I'm also kind of curious what sparked your focus on AI-driven solutions, specifically for climate and sustainability.
Yeah, that's a great question. About 10 years ago, I
Okay.
was working with a company, Bright Power, and I was their applied technology or their director of applied technology. And the company itself was working with some models on energy usage. And for myself, that had a great effect on me. I had a few colleagues who were absolutely brilliant. They taught me a few things about working with data that I hadn't seen before. And so it led me to this point. Went to the University of Michigan for their applied data science program because I found that CIOs, CTOs, who are both leading technologists and maybe trying to bring a product to market, they need to know how to leverage their data in predictive ways and get the most out of it. And so data science and ultimately AI, these things as it relates to sustainability and climate, it started with my work before, but now it's even more important in that because it's being uh, adopted by nearly every company across every industry, it seems. AI has a little bit of a sustainability climate conflict there now. So it feels like even more important for me.
Makes sense, definitely. I mean, that's such a rich and solid perspective on sustainability and tech. Shifting gears a bit here,
Mhm.
2025 is shaping up to be, a wild ride for CIOs as well, right? So,
Yeah.
digital transformation and IT automation are top of mind for many CIOs. From your perspective, what are the key priority, basically, challenges organization would face in 2025 and like next couple of years?
I Great question. I think that CIOs and CTOs are redefining how they run their departments as it relates to AI. And they're thinking differently about their products and how they work. Generative AI gives them capabilities they never had before. But then on top of that, they need to reskill and lead their technologists. And so the way that they train their staff is different.
Okay.
So I think that those two things are probably the biggest changes that CIOs are going through.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think a lot of perspective there as well. I think I'm still trying to understand where, generative AI, it's how is it transforming in the real world, or it is just a, buzzword. I think similar goes for crypto as well. So AI is, evolving very rapidly, especially the generative AI part. So how do you see generative AI solutions, impacting the operational efficiency, and what role does it play in accelerating digital transformation according to you?
Well, the thing that is top of mind is that generative AI allows you to spend less time with maybe some of the filler tasks. You know,
Okay.
you're editing uh, images, or you're editing documents, or you're creating things,
Mhm.
and really spending more time about the context and what you're building. And so the operational efficiency revolves around how do I insert AI into my workflow, and so I can get more out of my staff to scale.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, really, so I was also, kind of thinking about how people are basically adopting to all the AI tools,
Mhm.
cloud for business agility. So, how do you basically advocate leveraging cloud services and DevOps services? And why is cloud first approach so crucial for companies to basically stay agile? And where does it fit in that AI model which we are basically talking about? Sorry, too many questions all at once.
No, that's okay. I think regarding that question, moving into a cloud first approach for small businesses, maybe medium businesses, is really important. Um, there's a case to be made for certain industries. They need to keep things on-prem just by virtue of the business that they do.
Okay.
But let's ignore that for a second. So, like, let's say that your industry is not dependent on you having on-premise services or data, and so you need to move quickly. You need to move quickly, and reinventing the wheel is important, not to do. You don't want to you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And cloud providers and new services are popping up every day at an exponential pace. These providers give you access to tools that allow you to simply get at the heart of what your business is supposed to be doing, instead of spending time maybe like building out fundamental services. You can simply use the compute. You can use the generative AI service and not necessarily have to to build it yourself. So I think that summarizing, speed is really important. Bringing things to market is really important, and being able to test the waters. The cloud first approach allows you to do that. There are tools out there to do that in safer ways. You just kind of need to know how to navigate those solutions. I've found with my own team that it's, even for experts, it is really hard to stay at the forefront of the changing landscape. So The cloud first approach allows you to not only utilize one technology versus another, but you can also switch quickly. And that's really important. If something isn't working, you need to be able to jump on and find the right set of approaches that's going to work for your business.
Hmm. Makes sense. I think it also makes us more like an asset light model where, like you said, it's easy to move the entire infrastructure from one cloud to another. Maybe it would
Yeah,
AWS or Azure. So there's a lot of back and forth happens during in
sure.
companies. Nice. So also, I think there's a fine line between, encouraging innovation and maintaining the governance in a company, especially
Yeah.
when you're dealing with AI. I mean, there are a lot of things. How do you kind of, communicate that? How do you govern that? How do you strike this balance between so that shadow AI projects don't basically compromise security and also the strategic alignment within the company.
If you wanna if you want to tackle shadow AI, CIOs and CTOs need to have an AI strategy. They need to give their company and their teams a roadmap. And it's not going to be perfect, like any other strategy document, maybe that you're building for the company itself, but you need to have one. And a lot of companies, they don't. It's a real problem. Uh, the employees are left in a position where they need to perform and they have clients that are depending on them to move quickly. So they're gonna find solutions. And if you don't give them a roadmap on how to do it, then they're gonna find other ways. And a major place for shadow IT to arise.
Got it. Makes sense. I think a lot of people still don't realize this is gonna hit them big if they don't
Mhm.
implement it. I think you also advise, a lot of your stakeholders on building AI-powered next-gen companies.
Mhm.
How can IT leaders, especially CIOs, sell the value of AI initiative to other executives, and how do they ensure they align with the broader business goals? Because they influence each other, right? They talk to each other. So how can they, look at a broader picture here in a business terms?
The business terms are have to revolve around the economics. I think that there's a conversation to be had when you can positively affect their budgets. Um, some people may disagree with that. This is one approach, but it speaks directly to why this is relevant. And I'm not talking about uh, uh, I'm not talking about cutting staff or things like that, which is a real worry about a lot of employees. What I am discussing is we can do more and we can repurpose the skill sets for our departments and we can provide a better quality service with the skill sets that the team already has. And I think that's a real win because it allows them to succeed. It allows what I have seen from my teams is that it actually takes off some of the pressure of work. They have a better quality of life. And I think that as employees and leaders set the ground in their departments to adopt generative AI properly into and responsibly into their organizations, the employees start asking for more because it helps them to do their job. They're more accurate. They have, better relationships with their client because they can spend more time actually working with the client rather than maybe some of the things that they don't like to do on a day-to-day basis.
Interesting. I think this is one of the most sustainable answers I've heard, right? Like you also mentioned about how do you take human identity and non-human identity hand in hand, like that none of them gets affected and your business goes like as smoothly as possible. But yeah, I think culture is the key to success of digital transformation. as someone, who have worked on everything from climate to tech to data science,
Mhm.
how do you foster that kind of culture that embraces continuous innovation and responsible AI practices within the organization?
Having conversations, first of all, you've got to be able to build relationships. For me, the relationship both with the employees and with your objectives, it can't always be about making more money. You have to take a step back and ask the question, are we setting ourselves up for failure down the road? Like we shouldn't just charge as quickly as we possibly can. And there's a real conflict there because organizations they're trying to make a profit so that they can sustain and pay their employees. Um, but the most important thing is to have conversations because the landscape is constantly changing, and you want to be able to build a trustworthy relationship with your employees and with your customers that you're not going to necessarily sell out their data, or you're not going to do anything maybe nefarious on the back end. Um, Data leakage is real, and without those like conversations with your employees and setting up an AI strategy so that they have some guidance on how to navigate uh, the situation, there you're without that roadmap, you're not going to be able to navigate problems as they come along. And so you've got to be able to speak to your employees. You've got to be able to speak to and build those relationships so that you can have a dialogue.
So also, I think, do you think it's that easy or does it get hard to talk about certain points to the employees?
I think it's difficult. There's some uh, the most difficult conversation happens around how the business processes change and maybe
Okay.
reskilling. There's some skill sets that these are new tools, and so change and learning new tools to do a job that may look a little different. That's a tough conversation to have, and so being sensitive to those people and being able to break those conversations down, that's really important because those employees are important, and you want to be sensitive to their roles and help them along. Um, the landscape is changing, and even for me and my team and others in the industry, it is hard to stay up to date with the latest models, with the latest set of services that are coming to market. And so if it's hard for people who are constantly vigilant, it's even harder for people who are maybe coming in from the side, and it can seem a little overwhelming.
Makes sense, but these are the conversations we need to have, so don't have a choice on
Mhm.
that. But yeah, Carl, this has been like a super, super duper insightful conversation with you. You have dropped so many nuggets around that, I'm sure our listener would walk away thinking about all those points. And before we wrap up, if someone wants to stay updated on what you're working on, where should they
Mhm.
follow you?
Please follow me on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message. I'm a friendly guy. I love being able to talk to other people in the industry. I'm really interested in new AI technologies and new techniques, and I like connecting with people who are on LinkedIn that have interesting ideas. And especially in the climate sustainability mission-oriented companies, these are important to me. I like being able to reach out to those companies and help them succeed at what they're trying to do and their objective. I think it's really important because the industry itself needs AI to help it along, but they need to do it responsibly and in an ethical way. And that's where we come into play.
Interesting. I think this is at a very nascent stage when the entire system is evolving. A lot of people don't understand, but I think that's where folks like Carl's come in, help out the entire company, how to have that vision, how to handle AI in all the aspects. But yeah, thank you for joining us today, Carl. It's been a pleasure discussing with you all the important topics with you. Uh,
I
you know,
appreciate it.
we hope our listeners found the conversation as enlightening as we did. Until next time on SaaS Mastermind, thank you to all our listeners. And Carl,
Thank
it's
you.
been amazing having you here.
Me too. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Carl. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
You too.